Have you noticed that attraction doesn't just disappear overnight? It slowly fades away, almost without you realizing it? The sparkle in the eyes isn't the same, the kiss doesn't carry the same fire, and suddenly you're left wondering, what happened to the connection that once felt so strong? The truth is, relationship science shows us that there are silent forces that, if ignored, can destroy even the deepest bonds. And today, I'm going to talk to you as a friend who's been through a lot, and as someone who has studied the psychology of attraction in depth. Stay with me, because by the end of this video you'll see clearly what steals the magic from a relationship, and how you can protect your own love story. You've probably heard the saying, habits feel safe, but they can also be dangerous. And that couldn't be more true in relationships. In the beginning, everything feels fresh. The way he looks at you, how he holds your hand, even that random text in the middle of the day that makes your heart skip. All of it triggers a rush of dopamine and norepinephrine in the brain. The same chemicals tied to passion and excitement. It's like your whole body is buzzing with anticipation. But here's the catch. The human brain has a built-in flaw, it adapts. What once set your heart racing can slowly start to feel ordinary. Picture this. A couple's daily routine. They wake up, have coffee, head to work, come home, eat dinner, and binge the same shows before bed. Routine itself isn't the villain here. The danger is when it becomes stale, with no spark, no surprise. That's when the relationship slides into autopilot. The brain stops getting excited because it already knows exactly what's coming next. And here's the big question no one likes to ask. How can you keep attraction alive when the brain is wired to get bored with sameness? This is where neuroscience drops a truth bomb. The brain releases more dopamine when it's pleasantly surprised. That means little unexpected moments can reignite the spark. And no, it doesn't take a trip to Paris. It could be a handwritten note tucked into a bag, a surprise dinner, or even taking a different route home just to stop for ice cream midweek. These moments trigger what psychologists call the novelty effect, and they rekindle the desire to explore each other. Think of a flame, leave it untouched, and it fizzles out. But stir it gently, and it dances, grows, becomes alive again. Attraction works the same way. And notice, it's not about spending money or staging grand gestures, it's about intention and creativity. The brain links novelty with vitality. And vitality is magnetic. I remember a friend who'd been married for over a decade. She complained her husband had become distant, cold. When I asked about their days, it was the same story. Strict routine, no room for the unexpected. I suggested something simple, a themed dinner at home, candles, a playlist of different music. That night he was caught off guard, laughed like he hadn't in years, and the two of them reconnected in a way she thought was gone. Just breaking the pattern brought the fire back. Psychologists call this novelty seeking, our natural craving for fresh experiences. Without it, relationships go flat. And love alone isn't enough. Love may be the foundation, but attraction is the fire that keeps it alive. And fire needs oxygen, so let me leave you with a question. When was the last time you truly surprised the person you love? Not with something expensive, but something unexpected? Your answer might tell you whether your relationship is still alive and dancing, or already weighed down by routine. And here's the twist, routine isn't the only thief of attraction. There's another, even more subtle one. When admiration and care start to fade. You know that sparkle in someone's eyes when you truly admire them? That's where attraction is born. And that's exactly where many relationships quietly begin to crumble. In the beginning, admiration shows up in everything. In the way he talks about his dreams. In how she lights up when celebrating a win. In the energy of someone who takes care of themselves and keeps growing. But when admiration fades, desire usually goes with it. It's like trying to light a candle with no match, nothing catches. Here's something fascinating neuroscience tells us. Our brains are wired to seek out signs of vitality and competence in others. When we see someone taking care of their health, walking with confidence, speaking with passion, it activates the brain's reward system, the same areas tied to attraction. Now imagine the opposite. Someone who once was full of life slowly slips into neglect. They stop caring about their health, lose interest in their appearance, dragged through their days with low energy. The unspoken message is loud and clear: I've stopped valuing myself. And the brain interprets that as a loss of worth. I'll never forget a story about a man who, in the beginning, inspired his wife with his drive and optimism. He dreamed big, worked hard, and had contagious energy. Years later, though, he grew complacent, stopped pushing himself, and neglected his well-being. His wife still loved him, but admitted she no longer desired him. And here's the tough truth: love without admiration often turns into friendship. But friendship alone doesn't fuel attraction. And care isn't just physical, it's emotional, too. It's in the tone of voice, in how attentively you listen, in showing genuine interest. When someone feels you've stopped caring about yourself and about the relationship, the flame dims. Psychologists even have a name for this: emotional neglect. It's not usually one dramatic event that kills attraction, but the quiet, repeated lack of attention that slowly erodes it. Think about this. In the beginning, maybe you made the effort to look good, to plan the date, to make the other person feel special. But as time passed, you thought, I don't need to try anymore. The result? Your partner feels like they've been pushed down the priority list. And the reality is, no one wants to feel like an afterthought. But there's a powerful antidote: investing in yourself. When you take care of your body, your mind, your spirit, you're sending an unspoken message: I still have value, I'm still vibrant, I'm still desirable. That self-respect naturally reignites admiration. Because desire is born from respect and recognition. And here's the hard part: once admiration is gone, the relationship becomes even more vulnerable to the next silent enemy: emotional dependency and suffocating control. Very few people like to admit it, but emotional dependency is one of the biggest killers of attraction. In the beginning, constant attention can feel sweet, almost flattering, but soon it becomes heavy. It turns the relationship from a space of joy into a place of pressure and surveillance. When one person starts living entirely through the other, balance is lost. Desire needs air to breathe, but dependency closes every window. Neuroscience explains something interesting here: the human brain has a deep need for autonomy. Psychologists even use the term psychological reactance, that natural pushback we feel when our freedom seems restricted. Translation: the more someone tries to control your every move, the stronger your instinct to pull away. That's why excessive jealousy, endless check-in texts, or attempts to micromanage your partner's life don't bring closeness. They actually drive a wedge. Picture this: she sends a text, and he doesn't reply right away. Within minutes, she's sending another, and then another, until silence turns into accusations. What could have been a simple work delay now feels like an interrogation. Over time, his brain starts associating her presence not with peace, but with pressure. Instead of excitement, he feels drained. And when attraction gets linked to stress, it doesn't survive for long. Here's a metaphor. Think of a bird. If you leave your hand open, it might return to you by choice. But if you try to clutch it tightly, it panics and fights to escape. That's attraction. It thrives on freedom, not control. I once heard about a couple trapped in this exact cycle. He withdrew because he felt smothered, and she clung harder because she felt him pulling away. Round and round they went, both miserable. But when she finally shifted her focus back to herself, picking up hobbies she loved, spending time with friends, rebuilding her confidence, something unexpected happened. He started noticing her again. He was drawn back to her independence, her energy, her mystery. And here's the paradox: it's space that keeps the spark alive. Psychologists call this differentiation of self, the ability to be deeply connected without losing your own identity. When you show you have a rich life beyond the relationship, you become magnetic. Because no one is drawn to desperation, people are drawn to confidence and freedom. But when dependency takes over, something even more corrosive begins to grow. The way you talk to each other turns into poison. If there's one thing that can turn a relationship into a minefield, it's communication. Words carry weight, sometimes far more than we realize. A single sentence said in the heat of the moment can echo for weeks, slowly eroding admiration and trust. It's like every negative comment is a drop of poison, invisible, but cumulative. At the start of a relationship, communication is usually sweet, full of compliments, playful banter, and texts that make you smile. But over time, many couples fall into a trap. Conversations shift into complaints, comparisons, and criticism. You never do this. You always mess that up. Why can't you be more like so and so? These jabs might feel small in the moment, but in the brain, they trigger something powerful and destructive. Neuroscience explains it clearly. Constant criticism spikes cortisol, the stress hormone. Cortisol puts the body into fight or flight mode. Translation: every time harsh words fly, the other person's nervous system prepares for battle or retreat. And when the brain starts linking your presence with stress instead of pleasure, attraction dries up. Because let's be honest, no one desires what consistently hurts them. Imagine this. A couple comes home after a long day. Instead of a hug, a kiss, or even a, "How was your day?" the first words are, "You forgot again." That moment plants a seed of resentment. The partner stops seeing home as a safe place, and starts seeing it as a place of criticism. Slowly, the house stops feeling like a refuge and turns into a battlefield. Positive psychology research has a striking finding. Couples who maintain a ratio of 5 positive interactions for every negative one are far more likely to thrive. That means every critique needs to be heavily outweighed by encouragement, humor, kindness, and love. But when that balance flips, the relationship is already on shaky ground. Think of it this way: communication is like water to a plant. Nurture it gently, and it blooms. Drench it with negativity or mix in toxins, and it withers. Attraction depends on this delicate balance: listening without judgment, speaking without cutting, correcting without humiliating. I once met a woman who said, "He doesn't hear me anymore, everything I say turns into a fight." When we dug deeper, it turned out her words often came out as criticism. His response? He shut down. The result was silence and distance. But when she shifted from accusations to questions, everything changed. Instead of, "You never help around the house," she said, "Could you help me with this right now?" It would mean a lot. Same point, different tone, and his reaction softened immediately. But here's the dangerous truth. When communication becomes too toxic, it doesn't just kill attraction, it starts eating away at trust itself. And without trust, no bond can survive. Trust is the quiet heartbeat of every relationship. It doesn't make noise, it doesn't show up in photos, but it holds everything together. Every moment of affection, every peaceful night of sleep beside someone you love. When trust is strong, even big problems feel manageable. But when it breaks, the impact is devastating. It's like knocking out the main beam of a house. The whole structure starts to crack, even if it still looks fine on the surface. And what destroys trust? More often than not, it isn't one massive betrayal like an affair. It's the small, repeated breaches. A promise made and broken. A white lie that chips away at credibility. A disrespectful comment in front of others. These moments, stacked up, eat away at emotional security. Suddenly, one partner is asking themselves, "Can I really count on them? Can I open up without being hurt?" Once that doubt takes root, intimacy starts to vanish. Neuroscience shows that trust is tied to the release of oxytocin, the bonding hormone. Oxytocin flows in moments of emotional vulnerability. When you share a secret, when you feel truly listened to, when you know the other person has your back. But when those moments disappear, the brain no longer sees the relationship as safe. Instead of connection, there's distance. Picture a couple that no longer shares their real feelings. They still talk about bills, kids, chores, but not about their dreams, fears, or insecurities. Over time, they stop being lovers and slowly turn into roommates. They may sleep in the same bed, but the emotional closeness is gone. And without emotional intimacy, physical desire fades too. The body simply doesn't crave someone it doesn't trust. I once heard a story that explains this perfectly. A woman discovered her husband had been hiding financial debts. It wasn't an affair, but to her it felt just as shattering. The issue wasn't the money, it was the secrecy. She told me, "If he can hide this, what else is he hiding?" The marriage didn't end right away, but the attraction did. And here's the hard truth. trust and intimacy are inseparable from attraction. You can feel physical desire without deep trust, sure, but in a long-term relationship, without vulnerability and emotional safety, desire eventually burns out. It's like trying to light a fire with wet wood, it just won't catch. And when trust dies, the relationship rarely ends with a bang. More often, it fades in silence. The laughter disappears, the eye contact drifts away, the touches become rare. Until one day, you wake up next to someone, but realize you've been emotionally apart for a long time. So now comes the real question. How do you protect a relationship from these silent killers? How do you build a bond that doesn't just survive time, but grows stronger because of it? At the end of the day, attraction doesn't vanish all at once. It gets chipped away quietly, in the little things. The routine that smothers the spark, the loss of admiration, the suffocating dependency, the words that wound, and finally, the breaking of trust. These are the 5 silent forces that can destroy even the strongest relationships. But here's the truth no one talks about. Every single one of these can be reversed. The flame can be reignited, if there's awareness, intention, and above all, courage to change. Because love isn't about perfection, it's about daily effort. It's in the small choices, the glances, the gestures. Those are what keep desire alive, even after years together. So let me leave you with this thought. When was the last time you truly surprised the person you love? When was the last time you looked at them with real admiration? Simple questions, yes, but they're the map back to what you may think is gone. Now tell me, of these 5 silent killers, which one do you feel is the biggest threat to your relationship right now? Drop your answer in the comments, because your experience might be exactly what helps someone else who's going through the same thing. And remember this: attraction isn't luck, it's a choice you make every single day.